Yo, what is up? Thank you all for tuning in wherever and whenever you're watching this. My name's Tyler Brewer. I've been trading in the crypto industry since 2019. Guys, we created this channel to bring you education and information to take your trading and investing to the next level. Before we go ahead and dive right in, trading and investing involves risk. Risk means potential loss. So let's get into it. So guys, what happened to FTX, right? I'm sure a lot of you, and let me turn the slide on really quick. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen something or heard something about FTX. That's right. But there's a lot of stuff going on here, and pretty much I've dedicated this entire today's session to go over it. We're not going to be doing any technical analysis. I'm not going to be going into any other projects. We're just going to be strictly talking about FTX, kind of what happened to it. And with that being said, let me go ahead and actually open up a couple things. You cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording a meeting. Oh, okay. Let me move it over here. Sweet. And then let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I thought I had this stuff way more prepared. All right. Anyway, first thing we're gonna pull up, and let me actually I'm just gonna go like this. How do I get my? Where are we at? Where are we at? Zoom. Okay, cool. And we're gonna desktop number 1. So you guys should be able to see my entire desktop right now. Don't steal anything. And actually, let me go like this. I'm just gonna put these in this folder really quick. All right, cool. Not that I'm really that worried about it, but all right, cool. And you guys should be able to see my screen now. All right, cool. So first thing we're going to open up, guys, is FTX, right? FTX went filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. I don't know what you guys have heard or what you know about it just yet, but let's go ahead and pull this up. And this is really just a spreadsheet of what FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF was what we're going to refer to him as. So if you hear me say SBF, we're just talking about Sam. You can see a partial look at SBF's empire investments, including lead investments in major companies in the crypto space. So some of these you could see we have Alameda Research, we have FTX, FTX US, and FTX Ventures. These would be from, let's see, where is our boy? So these are all people who invested into Alameda, right? So these are all investments. You got WonderFi. This is Mr. Wonderful, something O'Leary, Kevin O'Leary. So you have all these different companies, and if you scroll through here, you'll be able to see something, probably something you recognize. BlockFi, you got LedgerX. LedgerX isn't the same ledger that we talk about where you want to store your crypto. It's different. You have Voyager, Blockfolio, WonderFi. You got Voyager again, but you can see if we scroll through here, there's probably Polygon, right? You got a little bit more than you expected, and a lot of these companies, a lot of, I guess, SBF's investments were into the Solana. They were heavily invested into Solana. But after I go over some of these things today, guys, you're going to kind of be like, oh my goodness. So let me actually make sure I have my screens where I need them. All right. I don't think you guys should be able to see this just yet. Cool. All right. Awesome. So we have all these, and we'll come back to this later. But for right now, guys, we're just showing you that. So we got all of SBF's investments, people who invested with them, and then we have Sam's mom. So, guys, Joe Biden, April 25th, 2019, Joe Biden announces his presidential campaign. And before I go into any of this, again, I'm just covering this stuff. This isn't anything political. I'm not agreeing, disagreeing, saying something's right or wrong. I'm just simply sharing a story and some things that connect dots. So, you guys, I challenge you to go ahead and do the research as well, to look into this, not just listen to it because I said it, to actually look into it yourself. This is exactly what I did. I was taught some of the stuff by a mentor, and I dug the rest of it up by myself. So you can see, guys, Joe Biden announces his presidential campaign 13 days later. SBF, son of Barbara, which we'll go into her here in a second, he launches FTX. Right now, guess what happens next? So you should be able to see everything I pull up from here on out. I hope so, because I'm going to pull up a lot of stuff. So we have SBF and his mom, right? Well, let's go ahead and find out where this is. So SBF and his mom, come on. 2 screens. All right, we're gonna move this over here. Cool. And actually, awesome. Cool. So we got Hope this is right. I think it's his mom. Yeah. Cool. So we got SBF's mom, right? And she actually, I think it was, this might be his aunt. Again, I'm trying to get everything here in line. I got all this stuff pulled up. Get this. Boom. All right. So we, oh no, okay. So that's SBF's mom. So SBF's mom runs a company about and that takes political donations, right? So that's exactly what we just have pulled up here. So SBF's mom is working with this company, Open Secrets, right? You could look at it, and they actually take political donations. Okay. So we have that. Let's get this out of the way. Now, SBF's dad, he teaches in I think MIT. He was a professor, and he pretty much teaches how to beat the tax system at MIT. He's kind of, the tax consultant, right? He goes around and kind of teaches how to get around this how to use the taxes to your benefit. You could see right here. He works on government might control the use of tax shelters and has testified before Congress and other legislative bodies on tax compliance problems posed by the cash economy. So you can see his tie right there. He's kind of tied into all this. So this is all going to connect here in just a minute, guys. Right. So we have him. And then we have SBF's connections, right? Now, before I go into this, I actually want to pull this back up. Let me pull this down a little bit, make sure we're not missing out on anything. No, we're good so far. Okay, cool. Get that out of the way. Awesome. So yeah, SBF, right? He graduated from MIT. His former professor at MIT is this guy right here, Gary Gensler, right? Gary Gensler is the head of the SEC. Gary's boss is this Glenn Ellison guy, and this Glenn Ellison guy is Caroline's dad. You can kind of see how these dots are connecting. So yeah, you can kind of see his connections here. Let me pull this down a little bit. Yeah, his boss. I know I have to say it up here too. So yeah, his daughter is the CEO. So yeah, Caroline is actually the CEO of Alameda Research, which you can see right there. So all of a sudden these ties are starting to connect. Now let's go back into the next thing here. So SBF's aunt, right? SBF's aunt works for the WEF, the World Economic Forum. Now, this was taken off of there. It was featuring FTX. It's now removed, but this was on there. You can go on there, click the website. I believe we actually have it pulled up here as well. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Where are we at? Nope. Nope. One of these? No. Okay. We thought we did. Maybe we don't. But regardless, SBF's aunt is partnered with this World Economic Forum. And right, they actually, which has nothing to do with crypto, but they had this on their website. Okay. So, and again, it's gone now. So let's go to the next thing here. So we got SBF's aunt. Well, guess what? His brother, right? So his brother also is a founder of this Guarding Against Pandemics. And you guys can't make this stuff up, right? So he created this company guarding the Guarding Against Pandemics. And this company was created during the pandemic, and there was pretty much no sign of where all this money was coming from. They were getting donations from here, there, here, and nobody really knows where the money kind of came from, right? So all these connections, you can kind of connect the dots. Okay, wow, this guy's got quite the connections. This isn't really by coincidence. So the next thing we have is the FTX flow sheet, right? So this flow sheet actually was created by SBF's dad. Now SBF's dad, guess what? We just talked about. He taught how to avoid taxes, or to whatever the exact title is, right? But he created this, right? And this is kind of how the money flows inside the FTX system. Now we're not going to go into just this right now. There's a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff we won't even probably be able to see if we zoom in, because it's gonna be a little blurry. But you can see, guys, SBF's dad created this, and this is pretty much how FTX moved money within the company. So all this stuff is kind of starting to click together, right? And then you have political donations. So SBF is one of the top political donations guys, and guess what? His aunt, was it his aunt? Oh no, his mom runs a company that takes political donations. Imagine that. So we have SBF, and you can see how much money was donated from Democrats to Republicans, total contributions. He was number 4, George Soros, right? If you don't know who he is, that'll bring you down literally a whole entire a rabbit hole, really. There's a lot of stuff, if you just look up him, that'll kind of bring you down the rabbit hole. What up, Tommy?
What up, bro?
What up? Going down the rabbit hole right now, bro. And so we have George Soros. You can kind of see here, right? We have the total contributions. You have about 39 million. And I know SBF was actually talking about within the next year, he wanted to donate over $1 billion to the, for political reasons. But you can see right here, Democrats, Republicans. Now, guys, in the meantime, right, when all this Ukraine stuff was going on and people wanted to donate to Ukraine, they wanted to, they wanted to say, oh, let's give some money to Ukraine. Who was the middleman for that? Well, it was FTX. So before we go into that, I kind of want to pull this up too, because you can actually see some of these people who invested into this company who have now, lost money. And you can see Tom Brady, Binance Labs. There's the robot ventures. You have a bunch of different things. You can see whether they were seed investments, which series. There's a lot of stuff in here. And honestly, you can see Coinbase as well. There's a bunch of different other exchanges too. So not even just, nobody really vetted out this platform before, they were just like, oh, let's hand them over. So really there's another company actually, which is called BlockFi, I believe it is. And
No, I've made a mistake.
so BlockFi pretty much, where is it at? Oh my goodness. Why is it not coming up? That's weird. But BlockFi was pretty much used as a front to kind of show the money, right? So we have all those people invested into it. Well, guess what? Sam Bankman-Fried built a back door where all this money kind of moved, and nobody knew of it, right? And again, SB, a lot of these donations for Ukraine were coming through here, right? They were coming through here. You have all these connections through SBF. And you can kind of see his former FTX CEO Bank SBF built a bespoke software that allowed him to move funds around without raising red flags, according to a report. He used bespoke software that was designed so that even external auditors would not be notified to changes to FTX books. And the report said, I meant that no red flags were raised when $10 billion of funds were moved to FTX sisters trading arm Alameda Research. So he had this backdoor built so nobody would be alerted when these things came up, when he was moving all this money around. So nobody actually knew what was happening. Nobody was checking, the blockchain at the time. Nobody was on the Etherscan. It wasn't up until, even this past week where we actually dove in, or not we specifically, but everybody has kind of dove in and dug some of this stuff up. So you have the back door. Well, then you have, again, the FTX, the middleman. They were one of the forefront, the face fronts of donating to Ukraine. Whether that money actually made it there or not, I don't know. That's, again, this is for, there's so much stuff into this. You can sit here and research this stuff. It's a whole rabbit hole, guys. But I kind of want to just go over really the things in the series of events that happen here within the FTX, right? So FTX is a middleman for the Ukraine donations. They took a lot of donations up front, and whether, what happened to that money is really, who knows if it made it there or not, or what was happening, whether it was being laundered. So there's a lot of different things. Again, I'm not claiming things to be true, false. I'm not agreeing with political things at all by any means. I'm just here to kind of explain this information and let you do and get your own, create your own story and kind of research it by yourself. I just wanted to bring a lot of this stuff to your attention, right? So again, then we get FTX, who gets hacked, right? For hundreds of millions of dollars are now flowing out of FTX wallets. Some speculate liquidators, but it's late on. So some people think it was inside, whether it's this white hat, I think they called it like a white hat hack, or somebody inside. Now, the crazy part about this, right? So the crazy part about this is a lot of it was swapped to Tether and DAI. Well, guess what? I think it was, it might have it up here. Yeah, so 75 million gets moved to DAI. So I don't know if you guys know specifically about DAI, but DAI cannot be frozen. So they move 75 milli to DAI. Well, guess what? That DAI can't be frozen. They had, I believe it was 50 million in Tether that was frozen and couldn't be moved. So Tether, Tether is something that can be froze, but when you move to DAI, DAI is a stable coin that you can't just freeze up like you can Tether. So super, super interesting to see that too. I have a couple other things here to pull up. And then maybe actually, I know I said I wouldn't be going over anything else, but we actually might cover a couple more things here before that. And let me pull this up because I know I have a lot more things here. So this kind of brings us into back to actually this original picture, right? The investments. So we're actually going to look into this LedgerX company. And again, this doesn't have anything to do with the ledger where you store your crypto, different company. So LedgerX, right? We have a LedgerX, FTX, whatever acquires, I can think of the word, no, it's right here. They acquire LedgerX. Now, if you read into this, you can actually see with the finalization of the sale purchase agreement, FTX US will gain a CFTC regulated contract market swap exchange. So pretty much it was going to be regulated futures and options trading here within the within FTX. And there's this guy, I don't know if his name's mentioned on here, right? Where's it at? Where's it at? I thought it was on here. Maybe it's not. So anyway, they acquire LedgerX. So if we go over to LedgerX, FTX US hires Mark Wetjen. So who's Mark Wetjen? Mark Wetjen, right? If you come over here, he is, right? Look at this. Where are we at? Where are we at? So Obama, whereas Barack Obama actually nominated him or hired him, whatever, yeah, nominated in 2011. So this dude is on the CFTC. He's part of he's a commissioner on the CFTC, right? Not only that, but he was also hired by FTX to literally regulate in exchange the strategy and exchange options. Now, guys, all these people connected to this, I mean, I personally don't think any of this was meant to happen. I think all of this was meant to continue on to where they could really just make money all over the place. And CZ kind of put a stop to that from Binance. So FTX actually filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So Chapter 11 bankruptcy pretty much says does not put the personal assets of the stockholder at risk other than the value of their investment in the company stock. So whatever money you have here on. That's pretty much what Chapter 11 means. So one more crazy thing, right? Because all of this, you know, that kind of led us to the proof of reserves. CZ was like, yo, we need proof of reserves to show that we have backing here. So guess what? Crypto.com, right? Accidentally, I don't know if you can see me, but accidentally, hand quotes, sent 400 million in ETH to the wrong address. Now, why is this crazy, right? Well, this is right as the proof of reserves comes around. So where did they send it? They sent it to Gate.io, right? Gate.io just before they provided their proof of reserves on October 28th as part of a new push for transparency for the FTX crisis. So do they actually have the funds? Probably not. Well, guess what? Crypto.com sent this money, right? But they also have about 20% of the reserve money in Shiba. Now, you guys know how I feel about meme coins, but again, a major exchange should not be holding 20% of their money or 20% of what they own in a meme coin. I mean, that's my opinion, but I don't think that should happen. So even more down the rabbit hole, guys, this stuff doesn't stop. So we have MakerDAO, right? The co-founder, this dude right here, he dies in Puerto Rico at 29. Well, this is all happens right before all of this unfolds. This happened literally, I think it was the 28th of October. Where is it at? Where is it at? Yep, so the 28th, right? So the unfortunate event was reported to local authorities in the morning of the 28th, according to that. So if you, and honestly, I'm not going to go too much farther into this because this kind of leads us down to an even bigger rabbit hole. I don't know if you guys know about an island that starts with the E. You know, the good old E Island. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. But if we go to our man's Twitter, I don't know if I actually pulled it up. We'll pull it up through here. Deleted. So this is a co-founder of, where is he at? Where are we at? So many tabs. So he is a co-founder of MakerDAO, right? And he was actually in the midst of working on a stable coin that wasn't able to get hacked and or frozen, right? So he was also in a bunch of other projects too, if you read through here. But you can see he was at the beach, considered to be one of the most dangerous places for swimmers. Well, guess what? He's found like with his wallet, phone, like fully clothed. Like I don't think a normal swimmer does this. But again, this is as far as I'm going to take it because I don't want to, you know, I'm not trying to get schwacked like he did. But if you look into his last message, right? This is literally October 28th, 4:57 a.m. and he was found the day after. So You guys, I can't make this shit up. Like literally, I put all this stuff together. I did a bunch of different research. I listened to a bunch of different things. Um, so many things tie into this. There's so much more that really goes into what happened here with FTX. Again, I don't think any of this was meant to fall. You see all the connections with the people we have, from this Mark Wetgen dude to Sam's brother to Sam's aunt to Sam's MIT professor to his girlfriend to his girlfriend's dad. Like literally, you can't make this stuff up, and I don't think this shit just happens by coincidence. So there's so many things going on in the market. And I know, Tommy, you're on mute, bro, but I mean, I don't know if there's anything you had to say about this or what your thoughts are on it, because, bro, there's so many things that maybe I didn't even see your research that maybe you heard or heard about. I know you're muted at the moment, so you have to unmute yourself if you have anything to say. But and also we are recording right now, just to let you know. But regardless, if you do, bro, just unmute yourself. If not, you're good. But yeah, guys, I mean, there's so many different things happening here that tie into each other. In again, I don't think any of this was meant to, come about. And if you look again, I mean, you could follow all this stuff because it's in the blockchain. Now, the best part about this is banks do shit like this every day. The only difference is it's not on the blockchain, so you can't see it. FTX Sam only got caught because it was on the blockchain.
Right. No, so I am unmuted. Yeah, no, it's the only thing. I still, with everything going on, I still feel safer with crypto than I do with the bank. You still get better rewards if you do your research and do it safely. The only thing I really have to say is get yourself a ledger, dude. Get yourself a ledger. Get yourself a cold wallet. Maybe get you if you don't want to get a ledger, get yourself a MetaMask on a phone you don't use and disconnect it from internet. Just if you want to get into crypto though, your best bet is to keep it all safe. Keep it with you because I know it all looks bad right now, and we're looking at what 16,500 Bitcoin and everything else, but this is the same pattern that's been going on for years and years and years. It's still a good investment. It's still a thing. It's not going nowhere. It's not like we see this happen and it's just the whole crypto industry is just going to come to an end. That's just not going to happen. So if you're still going to invest, if you're going to do whatever you're going to do, just do it safely. If you have your long-term holds and you have a bulk storage of anything, even if it's not a long-term, maybe you just want to hold it for a week and sell it. Get yourself a ledger. It's $100. It's the easiest thing to set up, and it's also the safest thing you can do in the entire crypto industry.
Facts,
As
bro.
far as the SBF stuff, like you said, it was this is just a fluke in the industry. This is just a devil amongst a good industry, just a whole situation that just should not have happened. It did though. So
Yeah.
keep it in
Yeah.
mind when you get down to the crypto.coms and the Coinbases and the Exodus and everything else and all these exchanges and all these different websites and everything else that says they're safe. Just keep in mind that this is a tech industry. It's software. People are going to do what they want to do on the internet. It's not all going to be good people. So just be safe out there. Just don't expect this to completely happen all the time. It's just this is what happens in the crypto industry. This is just a bad egg.
Facts, bro. And that's actually what Mike was saying. I was listening to Mike Sotero, bro, and he's like, this doesn't have anything to do with DeFi or anything that's where the code, none of these
No,
coins,
actually, it
none of
said
these.
DeFi has surged a couple 100% in just volume over the last week or so because of stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's crazy too is with with these CBDCs, with if a Fed coin actually goes through, everything that we were watching, if I pull up Etherscan right now, we can actually go through and look and see where this hacker's wallet, everything they've done with the money. Now with CBDCs, you won't be able to do that, and the banks will be able to continue to do what they've been doing, pretty much what we just unraveled right in front of your face. They'll be able to keep doing that, you know with ease, because we won't be able to see it. Now with the blockchain, when you're able to go on Etherscan and look up all the transactions, follow the wallet addresses, see where the money's sent, where it's going, what coin it's in. When you're able to do that, you can see where the money's at, or see who's manipulating or doing things they shouldn't be. And again, that's the only reason FTX got caught, in my opinion, is because of the blockchain, where they were able to see that. And Tommy's so right. You don't want to keep your money on these exchanges. That was one of the first things I was ever taught, was not to leave money on an exchange, is to use a cold wallet, use a ledger, something like Tommy said, get an old phone, iPad, something, get MetaMask on it, disconnect it from the internet, don't connect it to any sites, use it as like a savings account, right? The two biggest things in this space, guys, are education and security. You don't have security without having some education. You have to be educated to have some type of security. I know plenty of people who have made hundreds of thousands of dollars in this space, and because they didn't have the education on security, they lost it all. Making money in this space isn't that hard. Now, it's difficult. It's not easy, but it's simple. Making the money is simple. One of my mentors said, making $1 million isn't hard. Believing you can make $1 million is the hard part. He's like, making the money is actually easy, but keeping it safe or keeping it is the hard part. So that's super, super important when it comes to the space, guys. You want to make sure the money's safe, because if you can make money but can't keep it safe, there's no making money.
Right.
Irrelevant, really.
Like I said, I don't want to sound like a broken record or sound like I'm sponsored by them. I'm not, but get yourself like you're talking. I know somebody who has lost $80,000. I watched it just disappear from his screen. And if he had a ledger, if he had a cold storage wallet, that would not have happened. It wouldn't have been possible. So I mean, if you're gonna get into this space, and everyone gets into the space expecting to make money, so obviously, if you're here, this is what you're expecting. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, if you're gonna do it, I would definitely get yourself a ledger or be very, very smart. Turn off receiving on your MetaMask. Go through and go through your privacy settings. Make sure everything is detached and disconnected. So that's all I have to say for it. It's just I don't think anything different of the space. I realize something happened. Stuff is always gonna happen. Stuff People rob banks every day. You know what I'm saying? So whatever
Honestly,
happens in the future is just stuff to come, and from there you have to know what is the possibility of something happen is there. Like if something can happen, so I wouldn't say just expect it every day, but just be aware of it and just be careful.
facts, bro. And honestly, there's a few more things I have to say about the whole FTX situation too before I kind of want to go back into this, but there's still a snowball effect happening from this. And honestly, guys, I think we could see the market still potentially retrace just slightly. I don't think it's going to be something major. It still could be. I could be completely wrong by saying that, but this is just my opinion, not financial advice. The reason being is because things are still snowballing because of the FTX situation. We just saw I think it was Genesis. It was a lending company, had like 2 point something billion dollars freeze up because they weren't that they were kind of going bankrupt because of they had money in FTX. They didn't have any more money. It was a lending platform. So you have things like that. You have things like this, the whole FTX situation where shit crumbles. And some people get scared, but I also think this is a good thing in a way, right? There's always good within the bad. Some of the best things I've ever learned were from, bad experiences or situations I shouldn't have been in. But this was partially needed, in my opinion, to weed out some of these fake projects, some of these rug pulls, some of these, there's right now I'm looking at CoinGecko, there's 13,235 coins. There's not going to be that many, in 10 years, guys. Maybe there's more, maybe there's less. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's going to be that many because there's only going to be, one Google, one Bing, one Brave browser. There's only one. I quit using Google because Brave provided me more value. I'm not going to use PancakeSwap if Uniswap's doing the same thing. Now, if I needed to use Binance over an Ethereum, well, guess what? What if Uniswap made it to where you could do any chain? Or same thing with Pancakes, so like it really comes down to some of these coins, providing value and changing up or becoming that Google of the space or the Brave of that space. So I think this was partially needed to kind of weed out some of these fake projects, some of these wannabe projects, and not even that they're bad or wrong. It's just there's a lot of projects in the space that are underperforming or underutilized, or something similar would happen because it was structured like a FTX with bad people in the background. Not necessarily that the project was bad, but the people could be bad, or the opposite. You got things like Mt. Gox from back in the day. Some people still haven't been paid. It was one of the first Bitcoin exchanges where you could get Bitcoin. Some people still to this day have still haven't been, not some people still have not been paid back. I actually met some guy, I want to say not maybe last weekend or the weekend before, where actually he was telling me he had money in Mt. Gox, right? And then there was another company, I can't remember the company. I'll actually have to hit him up and ask him. But he had some company buy out his claim for like 57K. He had like a couple Bitcoin. I want to say it was like one and a half, 2 Bitcoin. And they actually bought his claim out because they were hoping, I'm assuming they're hoping that eventually they will get paid out, and when they get paid out, that Bitcoin's gonna be worth more than that 50 something K that he got paid. But you got to remember, guys, there's things like Mount Gox. People are still, holding on to some hope that they're going to get paid from this exchange going under from way back in the day. I don't even remember, if we Google it, I'm sure it was way back, Mount Gox. Most people don't even know what this is. Let's see. It was launched in 2010. It was handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide by early 2014, and when it was abruptly ceased operations by revelations of its involvement in the loss slash theft of hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins, then worth hundreds of millions of US dollars. So now I'm sure it's worth a little bit more, but this company was kind of went under for whatever reasons it did. And it was pretty much operating from 2010 and handling over 70% of all Bitcoin. So even a exchange that's handling over 70% of all the Bitcoin, can still potentially go under. So guys, again, like Tommy said, we don't want to sound like a broken record, but get your money off the exchange. Not financial advice, just you don't want to lose your money. If you don't have that seed phrase, you don't have a 1224 seed phrase words, you don't own it. You just have ownership over it. That's originally why I never liked Robinhood. I know Tommy used Robinhood way back in the day and utilized it to the best of his abilities. But I never really liked Robinhood in the beginning because they only gave you ownership over the crypto. You never actually owned it and you couldn't send it away. Now things are looking a little bit different, but that goes to show how hard it is to go from just allowing you to trade something to actually having enough to send. Okay, he has 10 Bitcoin, 20, 30, 60, whatever, however many, half a Bitcoin, and to be able to send it out. So in my opinion, Robinhood has kind of actually done it the right way, but I didn't like them at first, only because they weren't allowing you to, but maybe them not allowing you to was them doing it the right way and following some regulations. So I don't really have too much more to say on this. Again, there's a lot more things that snowball effect. There's even a lot more things that have happened that I didn't even get to cover. I'm sure if I just pull up, and actually I'll do it just for the heck of it. If I even go to decrypt, right? We go to decrypt. Oops, not Facebook. We'll just go to news. Even if we just go here, you can see a lot of things. FTX asks other exchanges to help secure return lost funds. And I actually seen they tweeted this out on Twitter saying like, hey, if you see any of this go through your exchange, can you please stop it and return the funds? So, whatever the new CEO is. And again, DeFi, it goes back to this where none of the codes, none of the smart contract, none of the coins actually failed. It was the exchange, guys. It was the exchange that failed that made crypto look bad. And in my opinion, I think the government, the feds, whoever, is trying to control crypto and get their money, their little chunk of money out of this. I think, they're using this too as potentially they're going to try to breed some fear out of this. We're like, hey, this is why we need a federal coin. No. This is exactly why we need decentralized money so we can control our money, not so you can say it's safe over here and you're doing this and that. So a lot of things, again, happening inside the crypto space. DeFi, I think, is only going to become better. You have the proof of reserves where companies are going to start showing the reserves, but be careful where you have companies like crypto.com accidentally sending 400 million so another company can do their proof of reserves and show that they at the time own it, right? At the end of the day, these are all just numbers. If you don't have cash in your pocket, you're already using digital currency. They're digital numbers, but how much ownership do you have over something you don't physically hold or that you don't physically have control over? So super, super important, guys. Go get a ledger, go get a MetaMask, go get something, protect yourself, educate yourself, watch my YouTube, watch these videos. I'm not the best in the space. I understand there's people who are better than I am, especially at educating. I don't think I'm the best educator by any means, but guys, I have that basic education here for you so you can be a better investor, a better with your finances, so you can learn how to not get hacked. And like Tommy said, I know somebody that got SIM swapped for like 60K. At the time, it was a whole Bitcoin. Now it's, fractions of a Bitcoin. But at the time, it was a whole Bitcoin, right? And the problem was, his problem wasn't not knowing how to make money. His problem is he didn't know how to keep it safe or how to, sorry, Pocahontas is about to walk across my keyboard. But yeah, again, there's so many different things you can see happening here. As we scroll through here, there's a bunch of different things. And again, too, the things with Elon Musk buying Twitter, I think that also has something to do with this, where, Elon Musk is having these conversations with CZ. CZ actually helped Elon Musk buy Twitter. So I think in a way, Elon Musk was helping CZ by telling him, hey, you should really look into this FTX deal before you buy it. And when CZ saw like, hey, yo, look, I saw, and it wasn't even that. I think CZ could have saved FTX, but he chose not to because of the people tied to it, because of everything I just showed you. It wasn't that it wasn't that he had to take on, fixing or recovering all these people's funds. It was the fact that he was going to be partnered with people he didn't want to be tied to. And again, do I think CZ's, come on, let's back it up, bro. Do I think CZ's the hero of crypto? It's hard for me to say that because I used to think Sam was the hero of crypto when he was saving these companies, but now looking back at it with knowing all this, you realize, wow, he wasn't. He was really like a villain. So again, CZ, he might not be this hero we all think he is, but as of right now, he looks like it. So shout out to CZ for unfolding all this. And honestly, this could have changed the entire narrative of what crypto could have been. So, thankful for CZ for that. But again, with FTX, this is not something abnormal. This is something banks do every day with our money. This is everything, and if you don't believe me, you'll have to Google it and follow the money. One thing I was always taught was follow the money, and it'll lead you exactly where you need to be, and it'll lead you back to people like that, right? It'll lead you, oh my God, all these connections. Oh my God, imagine this perfect scenario where you have all these criminals just simultaneously, like all together, they're running this scheme, right? Working together. But again, you can see a lot of this stuff, FTX still this weekend, crypto, FTX fallout, FTX this, FTX that. But again, I think there's still a lot more to come from this. Tommy, do you have anything to say wrapping this up? Let me go ahead and wrap it up here and call it a day. If you have anything to say, you'll have to unmute yourself because I muted you. But otherwise, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. With that being said, go ahead and drop a like, comment, subscribe, tag your buddies. Let everybody know what happened to FTX. Let them know this isn't the end of crypto. This is just the beginning. DeFi is only going to get bigger. Guys, if there's anything you'd like to see in a future video, drop it in the comments below. Message me on Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, whatever it is. Send me a letter to my address. Hopefully you don't have that. If you do, it's a problem. But anyway, guys, have an awesome rest of the day, weekend, night, wherever you're at, whenever you're at watching this. I appreciate you, and we will talk soon. And I am out. Peace, guys. Thank you.